And we are also sponsored by this anonymous stapler. I
Wait,
just want to
well,
let
is
you
that
know.
a singer? Is that a singer stapler?
Well, we have to pay them or they have to pay us for us to
Yeah.
reveal what this is.
Yeah,
So we
but
can
it's
just put this out there.
yeah, but it's not a red one. So
Counter to intelligence.
welcome to Counter to Intelligence. I am Ken, and with me, as always, and faithfully, is
Tom, the
there you go.
debunker. But I may not debunk this week. I don't know. This is a questionable one for me. I'm really curious to learn more. So
Yeah, but you did some research, huh?
I did. I saw what's going on and it intrigues me. I want
Uh-huh.
to do some digging, literal digging. I want to fly there and dig. But I'm getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, I know. But well, yeah, before we go any further, Tom, what is scarier than zombies to you?
Oh, clowns, obviously clowns.
Exactly. And this week's episode is brought to you by the Clown Apocalypse. Clown Apocalypse. It is the story of what happens when the world comes to an end, and it's not zombies. People turn randomly into clowns and start killing people. And what's scarier than that? Clowns killing people.
Yeah,
Nothing. But
nothing.
you can find Clown Apocalypse on Amazon. It's a great read. It's a novelette, so it's not too long, but it's fast read. And if you like zombie apocalypses, you'll love this because there's a lot of like jokes about zombies and clowns and people getting murdered, and it's graphically violent. And
You can't
yeah,
beat that.
yeah, you
Yeah.
can't beat that. So yeah, check out Clown Apocalypse.
But
You'll
now
love
that
it.
you said that, I have an image of like what would happen if I'm sitting right here at the headquarters of the debunker and I saw like five clowns come down the street. I'm locking my door. Like that
Yeah,
is seriously unusual.
dude,
Yeah.
if I just see one, I'm
Yeah,
locking
one's
the
enough.
door.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is they like to travel in packs and small cars. So
Yeah, that's what's up with the small cars. Like get a
I know.
regular sized car. That's unnatural.
Yeah, they're in small cars and like 50 of them are in there. It's like crazy. Like
Yeah,
they're like cockroaches,
they
clown
are.
roaches.
But
So
they are seriously scary. Like nobody should ever dress like that. I don't know. I
no.
don't understand. I guess we don't have them as a sponsor, but there is a restaurant, shall we say, that had clowns as one of their mascots, and I never
Yeah.
understood it because it made me want to not eat there. So
Yeah.
that's all I'm gonna
We
say.
won't say which one.
We won't say which one.
Because maybe one day they will be our sponsor and we don't want to have on record of you bad
Right.
mouthing them.
No, and we will love them when that happens. So
Yeah. So, but this week we're talking about pyramids because that's the hot topic right now. There's like pyramids. Well, I mean, there's pyramids all over the world, but right now we're focusing in on the pyramids in Egypt because that's where this revelation happened. And I am curious to see if that revelation will go to the other pyramids around the world and if they'll study them as well and see because there's pyramids not only in Egypt, they're over in South America, Mexico. There's some in Europe, there's some in Asia, and they're all ironically very similar in diameter. Like and like especially the ones in South America and Egypt, they're like the size, the diameter of these things is like very similar, and they're
wow.
laid out very similarly, and it has something to do with the constellations.
Yes,
And
and the length of the year, right? They're
yeah,
365 cubits or something like that.
yeah, it's very bizarre. Like, so why they were built this way? But the crazy discovery, and when I talked last week, I said lidar, and that was incorrect. It was not lidar that they used to find this. But I'm going to read this article I found. Basically, some Italian Scottish researchers have claimed that they have found a major discovery beneath the pyramids of Giza that is going to rewrite the history of Egypt.
Oh,
They
wow.
used radar technology. The team was led by a guy named Corrado Malanja from the Italy's University of Pisa and Filippo Biondi from the University of Strathclyde in Scotland. And they announced findings that they described vast underground city stretching more than 6,500 feet directly beneath the pyramids.
Um,
Um, they said what they used was this synthetic aperture radar, which is SAR, which is a well known. thing.
Yeah.
It's not new technology. It's like they used it, they found it, and what they found was that within the pyramids there were these shafts that then led to bigger shafts that went down 2,100 feet underground and then were into these cube-like things. Now the shafts were under all of the pyramids, each of them, and there was like a spiral to these things as well. Um, and some naysayers are like, oh well, yeah, SARS can't go that deep, or like it when it goes that deep, it kind of gets squiggly, and it's like those are the naysayers for saying that this discovery, yes, you can't, but even still, all of the pyramids had the same radar stuff showing up. So if you're saying there's still something weird underneath all of them,
Right.
whether or not it goes down as deep as they say, there is something under them, and there's chambers. Now, one of the naysayers admits that the Mayan pyramids were built over, they believe, caverns, and there were shafts going into the cavern, so there was an underground thing. So is it similar at Egypt that they now, oh wait, there's some cavernous system underneath? What was it used for and why?
Why?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, there's some interesting things that then come. How old are they? Because now they're thinking they're older than we thought. And what were they used for? And who built them? A lot of people think, like, if you look at the Sphinx that's in front of them, originally they said it did have a lion's head or an animal head, and it
Right.
was re-chiseled to look like a person. So the person's face that's on there is not the person who built it. They just redid it because it's like, well, we're in charge now. So they're saying that no, it wasn't Ramses, I guess the second or whoever it was.
Right. Ramsey too.
It
Yeah.
was, yeah, it was somebody else. And that he didn't build these pyramids, somebody else did. The other interesting thing is they always said that they were used for like burial, but
Right.
then in some of them there is nothing in the burial chamber. Now some say it's because grave robbers, others saying there just never was anything in there. That's not what it was for.
Mm.
Or the Egyptians retro turned them into burial chambers. And that's what they did because they didn't know what they found them there, and they're like, oh well,
Uh,
let's just bury people in them.
the spare people because we built this thing, but
Yeah,
yeah.
this thing's here, we don't understand it. Um Now the interesting, like, I'm gonna get into some, like, first, like, what could it possibly have been used for? Some of the things they're comparing it to are like Tesla coils.
Yeah.
And so some people think it was some sort of electricity because of Tesla's coils. Like Tesla did a lot of experimentation where the electricity could go through the ground, and he could like just plug a light bulb in the ground and it would light up when he had the coils going, and
Right.
it wasn't directly linked to any kind of wiring. And he was trying to do this free electricity, and the government and Edison said, no, we want to charge people. And so they put him out of business. Um, so that's that's what happened.
Competition. Yeah.
Yeah, like because his there would be no competition. It'd be, and his was, he wanted to give it to the world. Like Tesla
Right.
was a genuine. He had some crazy invention, crazy ideas, but he seemed to be altruistic,
Autistic.
altruistic,
Yeah.
not autistic, altruistic. Is
Oh,
that where you're?
altruistic. Way
Yeah,
different. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. He may have been autistic too. I don't know, but he seemed to be more like for the people,
Yeah.
and wasn't really out to make money. And in his lifetime, he really never did. But so these Tesla coil ideas, one is maybe, it's just they had some kind of electricity. Another interesting thing, and I'm going to throw this out there are these devices that you can get now for your gardens, and they look like cylinders, and they're like got the, like, almost looks like a Tesla coil type thing that you put in the ground under your gardens,
Okay.
and whatever it does, it allows your garden to grow really well.
Oh,
I
wow.
don't know, like, if it's some sort of magnetic thing that's going on or what, but
Okay.
it allows your garden to grow and does really well. And I bring that up only because Egypt now, the Sahara and the desert's very deserty,
Yeah.
but it was always described like if you go into biblical texts or even like Babylonian texts or different ancient texts, even like what I think it's Josephus.
Yeah.
They describe Egypt as being this crazy lush paradise, and there are still parts that are like that, but it was like supposedly like almost jungle esque, like it had a lot of vegetation.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if this device or whatever it was helping the plants thrive,
Yeah. I
and
could
it
believe that.
and perhaps it broke,
Yeah.
and
And then they,
and and,
ah,
and eventually, and they just didn't know how to fix it or keep it going. The technology, the idea of how it happened went
yeah,
away.
it makes
What
sense.
so what are before I get into who built these things, what are
Right.
your thoughts on what is going on there?
I do think it's something. I think it's something. I don't know what it is. I want to go and dig and like I would love to see like actual photographs of what's down there. Get a robot in there if they could or something. But I totally could see the growing the garden thing because I had a personal experience with this. It's a mystery. So I had broken my ankle, right? It wouldn't heal. They put an electromagnet on it,
Mhm,
and that caused it to heal in like a month and a half. And it had been not healing for like 6 months, right? It was just
mhm,
not. So I feel like if there's a way, and there is, like we all have made the potato clock, right? Like
mhm,
that actually has electricity. So they, I think, discovered some form of electricity. I could totally believe that that did something for them. It could have been growing plants. Who knows what they did?
mhm,
But I wouldn't surprise me because like the ancients invented the freezer as well, right? They figured out
mhm.
ways to actually freeze things based on evaporation. They could lower the
Yeah.
temperature in a bucket. So it would not surprise me at all if they figured out how to do some kind of electricity for something. So,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean, like the technology, it's very strange. Like, because the Egyptians and Romans both had really, at some point, pretty like modern type of things. Like the Romans had aqueducts and could have flowing
yeah,
water and had like toilets that you know
yeah,
flushed away, and then saying
yeah,
that all technology disappeared for like thousands of
yeah,
years,
yeah,
and then we finally got it back. But it's like
yeah,
so they weren't dumb. They were actually like I always believe that people that from well obviously like people from 100 years ago are a lot smarter than us. Like when you
yeah.
look at their third grade tests and compared to what we're doing in college, like there's some third grade test college people are like what the heck, like they have no idea. It's
Right.
so advanced.
It's so
So
advanced.
so you go back even like 1,000 years, they're probably like they knew things that we have lost.
Oh, definitely. Like all the nature knowledge and the practical stuff that they knew how to do things and build things. You look at cathedrals, the pyramid, anything that's old is like, how was this built without a crane that runs on
Yeah.
gasoline? Like this doesn't make sense,
Yeah,
right?
how are they cutting these things so precise
Yes,
that,
exactly. Yeah, they have a lot of knowledge, I think, that we've lost. Like now we punch buttons on a computer and stuff arrives at our house. Like we don't know how to make anything hardly,
yeah.
a lot of us. So
And most of the stuff that we get or make can't be repaired. It's just you replace it.
you just replace it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't fix it. It's like, it's done. You
Yeah.
know, like even like a car from like 30 years ago, you could repair every part of it. Now you
Yeah.
buy a car and it's like, the spring on the carburetor is broken. Oh well, you got to buy a whole new carburetor.
Right.
You
Right.
because you can't, it's all encased and you can't
Right. It's all
open it.
okay.
And it's
Yeah.
yeah, you can't get into it, you can't repair it. You
Right.
just got to buy a whole new one. And it's
It's
like,
so true.
yeah, it's really like fascinating that we are getting dumber and dumber.
We are dumber. Yeah, no, I think we are. I mean, they figured out how far around the Earth was and how far away the sun was, like in ancient times, by
Hmm.
using like shadows and math, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's amazing that they went to two cities and figure out, what the shadow was at one city versus the other at the same time. And
Hmm.
then based on that, they were able to figure out how to like accurately figure out how big the Earth is, how the
Hmm.
diameter was. I'm like, you couldn't do that today. Like, who would even think of doing that today?
Yeah.
No,
Nobody.
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 Yeah, except the
So
people who watch this show because we have the best listeners. They're probably out there doing that
yeah, right now, like even
right
though
now. Yeah,
the sun may be down, they'll still be out there trying to figure out the shadows from the
those
moon.
are the people we rely on for our viewership. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So you think like, and that's fascinating about your ankle and the magnet. It's like, wonder why they didn't do that sooner. You
Right,
know?
exactly. Well, insurance didn't cover it, right? But
Yeah,
then I'm like, well, so how does this work? And like, we don't know. We just know it does. And there's
yeah,
like studies that have proven it. I'm like, okay, so electromagnet's good for some reason we don't understand.
yeah. But it's probably like if you went back like 200 years ago, they probably did know why it worked, but now it's been
They
lost.
probably did. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like why the magnets do what they do. So so we got in like, so you believe something's there now,
Something's there. Definitely.
and I think there is too. And even the naysayers can't completely say, they're just like, well, maybe it's shafts, but it doesn't go as deep as they like. They're saying it's there. They don't know what it is. But I mean, there's always been stories of something under the there,
Yeah.
and just Egypt has not allowed people to dig under. But I'm hoping that now that, hey, we see their stuff going, maybe they will
Yes.
uh do it. Obviously, the Egyptian archaeologist, I think his name's Dr. Zah Hawass, and he's been
Right.
there. He's like, there's nothing under there. He refuses, but he's like a big naysayer. They always go to him as like the best guy, but I don't think he is, because he like kind of thwarts any kind of going any further with anything.
I
So
read his
he's
stuff
like,
too. Yeah. And I feel like you can't just, I mean, these pictures, can I share? I'll share the picture if that's all right. I have
yeah,
like
go
one
ahead.
of the scans. So, so this is one of the scans, right? They have.
Yeah,
And okay, how do you say that? And this is not one of the best ones even, but this is just looking down. There is a 3D one as well. Like clearly something is there. Like
yeah,
that's not just rock formations. And
yeah,
then this thing here, I don't know if you saw the scan that came out. There's a high res scan of what this thing actually is under there.
yeah.
In case people want to just, should we reveal the whole secret now? Like
Right.
we know what's this spot right here.
What you think it is?
What I think it is,
Yeah.
this.
Show us that you think it's a cyber truck.
It's a cyber. I think there's a Cybertruck under there. No,
Wow.
I'm joking. But this is, I don't know about the Cybertruck, but this picture here, for real, like there is something going on there. And
Yeah.
then I don't know if you have any other ones. Maybe we could put it in the edited version of this. But
Yeah.
there's 3D ones too that
Yeah.
look like it looks like pillars and they're in a spiral. So there's something there that this is physical evidence. Like this is
Yeah.
my ball game. Like I see the physical evidence. It's got to be something down there.
Yeah. And they even say that there's like an opening to get to them.
Yeah.
So even if he doesn't want to dig all the way under it, I think they should allow them to get under there. I mean, I know for as long as I've been alive, they've always talked about that there's something underneath the Sphinx, and he's not allowed them to do it. Like, and for a long time, he wasn't even allowing this doctor guy, doctor or whatever, wasn't even allowing them to do radar. Like, he was like
Oh,
really against all this stuff. Like, and so I've always, I mean, he's interesting, he's entertaining to listen to talk, but he's like kind of thwarted any kind of advancement on find out, because I think, and this is just my speculation, he's Egyptian and he wants it all to be the Egyptians did it. Like,
okay.
he's a national, Egyptians did this, it's all
Right.
Egyptians. And the idea that anyone other than the Egyptians, no. Like, he was vehemently against the idea that they used slave labor. And he's like, it was all artisans. They chose to do it. It's like, dude, yeah, there were some, but do there were slaves. I'm sorry. Every culture had slaves, and they used slaves to do it. Like, he just didn't want it. He's always been like, no, it's all Egyptian, Egyptian pride. But I mean,
Egyptian
okay,
pride is the root of the problem. Yes,
yeah,
I agree. Like we ought to be allowed to go and investigate more. I
yeah.
think
Like, and
this
I'm
would be
not
a good
saying
field trip.
destroy it, but like,
Right.
let's go to like one of the areas that says there's a shaft, and let's dig a,
Yeah.
be archaeologists, do it the right way and see, okay, yeah, there's an opening. Let's go down in there, see what's in there. You
Yes.
know, take your time and do it the right way.
Yeah.
Um, but he's kind of fighting it. But
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. I'm hoping that maybe as they do more, they can get more imagery, and the technology gets crazier and crazierly
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Um, now the idea is, who built these things? There's a couple theories. Do you have
I'd love to hear the theories. Yes. I
okay,
mean,
well, I mean,
Egyptians, we have to give them some credit, right? Like,
Egyptians, the Egyptians built them.
right.
That's one.
Yeah.
Now, I feel the Egyptians may have remodeled them or renovated them. They came in like my house, it's over 100 years old. I didn't build it, but
Right.
I came in and I renovated it and
Yeah.
I added on to it and I made it my own.
Yeah.
So,
And it looks
yeah,
good, by the way.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've been to the Fedora house and it's great.
Yeah, so it's a great so like, but I didn't build it.
Right.
In fact, I didn't even I hired someone to fix it, so I didn't even do the renovations. I just made somebody kind of like the Egyptians. They
Right.
didn't, they so
Who did they
Ramses,
hire?
yeah,
That's the
Ramsey
question.
didn't do anything. He had some artisans do it
I need some
cheaply.
artisans. I have no artisans in the house. I
Yeah,
gotta get
I know.
some.
I don't know any artisans.
Yeah.
So, but so that's the first, the Egyptians. Another is aliens came and
Ooh,
built them.
hired
Maybe it
hands.
maybe it was a charging station, like
Right.
like for their spacecraft.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, and now that we know what's there, they're probably gonna come back and say these guys are gonna screw it up, man. The hairless monkeys are gonna mess it up, so they're gonna have to come back and stop us from ruining their tech, which I think we already did because I don't
I
think
think
it's
we
doing what
messed.
it's
Yeah, it's
yeah, I don't it's
not
not
working.
doing what it was supposed to do.
Yeah. There's
Um
no gardens there. I was hoping
yeah,
for the
no
garden.
gardens and there's no like if I stick a light bulb in the ground in the desert, it doesn't light up. So
That's ridiculous. These, is there anger at the aliens for, not fixing it? I guess would be
yeah,
the question.
well, I think maybe it's like, maybe they taught some people and then they just, lazy hairless apes just didn't keep it up.
Yeah. Can't trust the hairless apes.
Yeah, we're dumb and we're just and then so so they're just like eventually we'll go back and conquer them and fix our tech. But you know so that's the other is aliens. Another and this is gonna be interesting because this is something we talked about before. We talked about Atlantis and I talked about how uh the rickshaw structure, the Eye of the Sahara,
Yeah.
which is not far from Egypt,
Yeah.
was the original Atlantis. And supposedly the Atlanteans were super knowledgeable and technologically advanced society. And then their area got destroyed and they left and went to Egypt. This is all part of that mythology. Well, the story of Atlantis came from Egypt and was told to Plato, and then he went on and told everybody about it. But the story came from Egypt. So the idea is the Atlanteans came to Egypt, built some tech stuff similar to what they had, but they had to start over. And that's where the story, and they kept the story of Atlantis and they were trying to rebuild their society, but they were teaching the indigenous people of that area who then became the Egyptians, and they didn't, keep it up. And they tried to, but over time, people forgot how to fix it. They didn't. Maybe one guy just wanted job security, so he never told anyone else how to maintain it, and then he died.
That's
And
what's
it's
up.
like crud.
Yeah. Yeah.
Job security for you, but now you're
Yeah.
dead, and like
You
the
pass it
thing
on to your
eventually,
kids, but nothing.
yeah,
Yeah.
but eventually it broke down and it's not working now. So that's the other one. Now the last one, and I find this one interesting and fascinating, is this goes back to a biblical one. It's the Nephilim. And so the idea is like if people don't, I'm sure people who watch our or listen to us know what the Nephilim is, but if you're first time listener, long time caller, first time listener, if you don't know what the Nephilim, it's talked about in the Bible. It talks about the sons of God finding the daughters of men attractive and having babies. And if you don't know how that happens, ask your mommy or daddy and they'll
Right.
explain.
They have
But I
answers.
don't know how it works with angels and humans, but I'm assuming it's similar. So, but you or ask your health teacher because you don't want to ask your parents. That's embarrassing. Go ask your health care. How do humans and angels mate? See what they say. So anyway, so the sons of gods are basically the fallen angels, and the daughters of men are humans. They got busy, made babies, and these were the men of renown, the Nephilim. and they're giants. They're big dudes. And in the Bible, they're talking about them all the time. First time is pre-flood. Then it seems to happen again later, and that's where you hear about uh, Goliath and his brothers were considered Nephilim. They were giants, and they were the last remaining of this culture, which was these were the last of the Nephilim, and David and his dudes killed them all. Which is really fascinating that when I was younger, I only thought there was Goliath. And then I later found out that he had four brothers, three or four brothers. And then David and his boys took them all out. But one of the ideas is the Nephilim built this because it goes back to like kind of also mythology where like the devil and the angels gave technology, but then had their offspring, the Nephilim, gave the technology to humans and were teaching them how to use it. And there's a couple places where that's kind of mentioned where you have obviously during the flood, then God wipes out. And then it happens again when after the flood, many years, they start building the Tower of Babel. And they're building this ginormous structure. And again, people believe the Nephilim as well as demonic forces were teaching humans how to build something. And I think it was more than just we're building a big tower. Like there was something else to it. And God said, hey, no, messed up the language. And then was the Tower of Babel similar to these pyramids? Were these pyramids similar things that they were trying to build? And it did something. And so the Nephilim comes into play there. And the whole thing, the Nephilim idea is interesting because of that. And in different cultures, such as even Greek mythology, Prometheus was a giant and he brought fire to man. And that was kind of a technology. Icarus and his father brought flight and they flew too close to the sun. Again, they were, again, it's all these
Well,
myths
coming from
about,
above. Yeah.
yeah, and that they're able to do these things. And so, I mean, those are other mythology. But I find it interesting, like, if you look into the story of Icarus and his dad, I can't remember his dad, but his dad's the one that really built the wings, but they were not really normal humans. There was more to them. So they're almost, again, like in Greek mythology, you have demigods who were like part man, part god, and they all had these abilities and were grander than human. So there's this idea of supernatural beings and humans coming together and making super people that were not necessarily like that they just were better, or there's more, not necessarily better, but there's more to them than a human. So those are the main ones now, that I've read. Those are who they think. So in your thought,
Yeah.
what do you think if you had to choose one, or if you want to just go and just, pick a completely random?
Right.
You can't say Elon because he would say this costs too much to do.
He's
So
gonna
we're
cut it.
cutting
Yeah.
it.
He's gonna cut it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say the Egyptians because that's the most logical, kind of concrete. We know they existed, but it is bizarre to me still that they could create a structure that deep in the ground. I
Mm-hmm.
don't get that. Like, do we have any other evidence of any other structures this deep anywhere else? Like, this is very deep.
No, not yet.
Yeah,
And
not
that's
yet.
what I'm saying. Is like, yeah. And how much has Dr. Hawass paid you to say that? Did he offer you
Not a
a free
beagle.
camel ride or something?
I two free camel rides. Thank you. Yeah.
Wow.
So
So, wow.
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be hot though. I wanted it to be cooler, but
Yeah.
you have to go over
Yeah.
there to get the ride.
Yeah. Well, I am interested, like now that they've done this here, like I said, there's other pyramid structures around the world. I
Yes.
would like them to use this technology like over in Mexico, over in South America, over in Europe and Asia, where these other structures are, and see what's under there. Like, is there something else under the
There is.
those?
And I bet you there is.
Yeah.
They're too
Like, is
similar. I bet you there is. So then we have a harder question to answer. It's like, well, the Egyptians did this one. How did that knowledge spread to
Yeah.
there, or was knowledge spreading the other way from South?
And that's the thing is, if it is kind of like a Tesla coil type of thing, were
Right.
they like relay stations
Oh,
where
wow.
they were spreading the electricity? So
Yeah.
that was it. Like we're like, because there are theories. People think that we live in a cycle of technology where you have great technology and then all of a sudden just something bad happens and you
Right.
lose it.
Right.
One of the interesting things on some of the pyramids is there is water damage, like high up on the pyramid.
Hmm.
And so, as though it was submerged at some point, and could that have destroyed
Oh,
the,
yeah, that would make sense.
yeah, the electricity, the seawater, because salt water destroys everything.
It does. And you
So,
might
so
want salt water, right, for the salt in it
yeah,
for, because you might need that for the electrodes potentially. So
yeah,
interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm absolutely fascinated with this story, though, I have to tell you, because we have the proof. We're see something is there that does not
yeah.
make sense. Yeah.
And the thing is, what's cool about this story is it keeps snowballing, and it seems like more stuff is coming out.
Hmm.
Like so, like from the very first initial, like when it first came out, I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then within a week, there's like now they're showing photos of it, and
Yeah.
then now it's just getting more. Now it's like, now it's more than just straight down. It's kind of going out to the
Yeah.
sides.
There's like
Uh,
8 pillars or something with this,
yeah,
right?
yeah, and all of them, and then you're getting into who did it and why, and like I said, it like my thing is I'm leaning against the Egyptians. Maybe it was them, but I think if we go to the other structures, if they go hit the other pyramids, and if
Right.
they have this similar thing going on, then I'm
Yeah.
straight up, no, it wasn't the Egyptians. Something else or somebody else
Something
was
else
doing
happened.
something. And I will go with that. They were like me, found these cool things and renovated them and turned them into like, grave sites. Because
Right.
one of the, like, here's the thing about it being grave sites. And this will piss off Dr. Hawass. And I don't care.
You,
So,
you're immune to his feelings.
yeah,
It's yeah.
explain to me this. So, if that's what the Egyptians built for graveyards, pyramids, why was King Tut not in a pyramid? He was
Oh,
not in a pyramid.
he was not.
And there is the Valley of the Kings where all these other kings were buried in these tunnels, and
Right.
they're not pyramids.
Right.
But we have these pyramids. Why were they pyramids? And then they're like, because I don't think they knew how to do it. I
Right.
think those were there, and the kings that were, yeah, these are mine. Now this is where I'm getting buried.
I would claim that. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
So they retrofitted them, and then all the other kings were buried in these tunnels. As it went. So
It gets deeper because now we're saying that pyramids are like almost like eternal or at least pre-existing, right?
yeah,
Somebody before
somebody else built them.
built them all over the world because there are
Yeah.
multiple ones.
Like,
Yeah.
and could it have been pre-flood built? Like, if you believe in a worldwide flood, could they have been
Right.
there before the flood?
Right.
Flood happened, destroyed the tech,
Right.
and
Got the
they were
water
just there. The
damage.
water goes down. The
Yeah.
the the pyramids are there. The people come. The first round of Nephilim are gone, and these people are like, "Hey, they're cool."
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
I'm just throwing out different ideas of what it could
I
be.
I think our listeners will appreciate these ideas, and I do too, because it makes you really think, like, especially since there are multiple pyramids. That's the thing that really
Yeah,
baffles
yeah.
me. Yeah. And they're so
And then, and I can't remember. Like, I don't think that the pyramids over in the Mayans, they're not tombs. They're
right.
like temples.
They're like temples. Yeah. So
Yeah, so
different
they did a
purpose.
whole different route with them. They like
Yeah.
again, maybe the Mayans found them and they're like, yeah, they must have been built by the gods, and so this is gonna be,
We should name your theory the Ken renovation theory. Does that
yeah,
sound cool?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The theory that they just came and
The renovation theory is really fascinating.
renovated and repurposed.
Right. Because you would think, so if we go with this, you would think that they would all use it for the same purpose if it was the same culture, the same idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but they all did them for different things. And there is even one found over, I think, in the Damascus area, pyramid. And
Okay.
when they went inside, it wasn't a tomb at all. It was like a storage unit. So it was like they had their swords and weapons in it.
Oh wow. So it's
And
like
then
keep smart. So
yeah,
basically
so
it's like
it
keep smart. Yeah.
yeah, so it's, again, it's like I feel like that pyramid was there. They're like, well, what should we do with it? Well, the Egyptians put some dead people. I'm like, well, that's like a waste of space. It's like we need a place for our armor. Let's put
Right.
it in there.
Yeah.
It's an armory.
Yeah.
It's not a
Not dead
tomb.
people thing. Yeah.
Selfish Ramses.
Yeah.
You
Freaking
know,
Ramses.
put his my whole body needs to be in here with my dead cat. It's like when it
He kind
yeah.
of had an attitude problem, didn't he?
I
Like,
don't know. He probably was a really nice guy, and I'm
yeah.
like, well, unless you like, go with what the Bible said, then he wasn't that nice. But
Yeah. I just don't want to get hit with the pro Ramses supporters, right?
yeah, the
Like,
program, and
yeah.
I don't want to. If his ghost is around, I don't want to like piss him off because we've already talked about ghosts coming back and fighting you. It's not
Yeah.
fair.
It's
Yeah,
not fair. No.
yeah,
Supernatural against natural. Yeah. No
yeah,
contest.
yeah. There's no way to win that.
Right.
Dang. So I think, like we gave no math. I know people get mad that we don't give mathematical equations.
Oh, we
But
should do
but
that
you did
tomorrow.
show some pictures. So I mean they
Yeah.
should be happy about that.
Yeah.
But I I think we've explained the theory or what's going on
Yeah.
to the best of our knowledge at this time.
Yes.
As of right now, this is all we have.
Right.
And I've given out the theories of what could have been. And I'm going to leave it to the people and you're straight on. It's the Egyptians. I think you're wrong. I think I because I love the idea, I'm going that it's the Nephilim because there's not enough things that the Nephilim have done. And they just
We
aren't
need to
getting
do
the
more.
credit they deserve.
Yeah.
They were a part of our history and they deserve more.
The
You
Nephilim
know?
representation is never talked about,
Yeah,
to be honest.
exactly.
So.
Maybe it shouldn't be because I guess they're half demon, but
Right.
still,
Could be good
they
reason.
a demon with a heart of gold. They
And
were,
some great building skills, let's be
yeah,
honest.
yeah.
So,
I
or
mean,
renovation.
I am sure there's like one or two Nephilim out there that were like really nice guys
Right. Oh yeah.
or girls.
They're probably building stuff right now, just we don't know where it is. It's like
Yeah, yeah,
beyond the ice walls or something. I don't know.
yeah. They're still there, beyond
Yeah.
the ice wall. See, you brought that up. We'll get to that eventually.
Yeah. I'm
But
excited for that. That was the big Easter egg for this episode was the ice walls. We haven't
yeah, yeah,
delved
we
into
did.
that.
Yeah. I think we can put this one to bed.
I think so. We've
And
solved it. Yeah.
yeah, as
Right.
best we can. So
Best we can. Yeah.
what would you like to do? Do you have an idea for something
I
for
need to
is
get a
there's
good. Yeah. Do you have you usually have good
I
ideas.
do have one.
Oh,
Of
tell me.
course I
Tell me.
do.
Of course you do.
Since we brought up the Tesla coils,
Yes.
I would like to go into what is the connection between Tesla, Trump, and I'm not talking about the car Tesla and Elon
Right.
Musk, Nikolai Tesla, Trump, and weather modification.
Oh,
Because
we
there
have to
is
do
a
that.
connection.
We have to do that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, I know another one that I talked to somebody who believes in this, and I don't know a lot about it, but I want to learn more about the chemtrail theory. It
Oh, the
sounds crazy,
chemtrails. Yeah.
sounds
So how
crazy,
about this?
but yes.
And chemtrails kind of fits into weather modification a bit. So
Okay.
let's put
All right.
that in there.
All right. We'll
In
do it
there.
all.
So
It's a big episode. We can
yeah,
keep
this is
the
going to
title.
be an interesting. We're going to deal with Tesla, Trump, weather modification, and chemtrails. Now, chemtrails, we're going to stick. I want to stick with chemtrails and weather modification, as
Okay.
opposed to there's other things people say the chemtrails do, but we're going to keep it with weather modification, and so
I like
that'll
it.
be next week's.
This is gonna be a big episode. This is exciting.
Yeah, yeah. So I will bring some interesting thing, and I'll let you figure out. Like, wow, that's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
because it is pretty crazy, and the connections are crazy.
Yeah.
But there are some legit connections that.
I'm excited. This
Yeah.
is gonna be fun. And if we have pictures, we should bring pictures. I do. We'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see what the listeners tell us about this.
Yeah.
So the pictures helped or not. So,
Yeah, I think it will.
yeah.
So there you go. I think we're good. And
Yeah.
there you go. And until next time, I hope everyone has a good week.
Yeah. Have a good week, everybody. I'm Tom, and this is
Counter to Intelligence, and I'm Ken.
well done. See ya.
See ya.